Caitlin Clark is probably out for at least 3-4 weeks.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
Here we go again. Folks, truly, here we go again. The WNBA has once more failed to protect its golden goose, its ratings magnet. Its $1 billion economic engine, Caitlin Clark, has been injured again. And this time, the reaction from fans isn't just disappointment, it's outrage. The league, seemingly incapable of safeguarding its most valuable asset, just watched its brightest star go down, and the backlash is intense.
Yup. Caitlin Clark dealing with that groin issue. And now, this just occurred to me. Caitlin Clark clearly not looking like herself. The Indiana Fever has the game put away, yet we still put her back in the game at 45 seconds left. Caitlin Clark dealing with an injury, not looking like herself. The game is already out of hand, yet we still put her back in with 45 seconds left. How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing.
On June 26, 2025, the Indiana Fever announced that Caitlin Clark would miss their game against the Los Angeles Sparks due to a left groin injury. Let that sink in. This is the same athlete who hadn't missed a single game since 2017, 8 consecutive years without sitting out, and now she's suffered her second injury in just over a month. The quad strain that kept her out for 5 games should have been a wake-up call for the league. Instead, she returned, took more punishment, and now she's sidelined again.
The fallout has begun. The Indiana Fever are literally taking what looks like the most valuable women's athlete asset that has come around in I don't know how many years. Certainly for women's basketball, they are taking this asset, an asset that I contend is worth more than every player in the WNBA combined. I'm keeping it real. All right, that's the draw, that's the aura, that's the brand. She is the WNBA. I've said, I contend she ought to be, her three-point shot should have already been changed. That should be the logo of the WNBA. Of course, the old school WNBA fans.
Coach Stephanie White learned of Clark's latest injury late last night and described it as a day-to-day issue. Clark reported groin pain to the training staff after returning from a grueling West Coast road trip, during which she struggled, significantly going 0 for 6 from three-point range into out of 3 games. That's unprecedented for her. This isn't a coincidence. It's the result of a player being worn down by constant physicality, while officials seemingly look the other way.
This groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our
Who gives a shit how she responds to treatment? Keep her out for a week. Keep her out for a week or 2. Let's make sure she's healthy. 110%, 150%. Fuck this treatment bullshit. Rest her. Sit her down. We want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, you might have a day or 2 where you feel good. We want to make sure that you have a career where you feel good.
The numbers speak volumes, and they're brutal. Nationally televised WNBA games are down 55% since Clark's initial injury. Fever games specifically have dropped 53%, from an average of 1.81 million viewers with Clark to just 847,000 without her. That's not a dip, that's a catastrophic collapse in viewership. It underscores a critical truth. Clark isn't just valuable to the one bash as the WNBA.
As we watch the WNBA every day because of the way they play the game, because I love the WNBA, I love the way they play the game, but we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now, let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She going for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate money?
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. But now, let's get to the real outrage, the WNBA referees and their blatant failure to protect the league's most important player. The pattern of Clark being physically targeted has been obvious all season, but it boiled over during the brutal game against the Connecticut Sun on June 17th. J.C. Sheldon poked Clark in the eye. Clark reacted in frustration, and Marina Mabrey followed with a cheap shot that sent her crashing to the floor. The referees, they issued Mabrey a mere technical foul, the same penalty a player receives for arguing with an official.
Caitlin Clark getting basically wrecked. This is one of the worst decisions that I have ever seen any league engage in. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw for a team sport in my life relative to the audience that would be fans of the sport without her. Bigger than Michael Jordan was for the NBA, bigger than any NFL star has ever been. All of those sports were very popular before those athletes got there. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. Every game she is dropping golden eggs, and they are trying to strangle the golden goose to death. It's one of the dumbest.
The officiating in that game was so egregious that the WNBA later admitted the referees had lost control. Mabrey's foul was eventually upgraded to a flagrant 2, but only after the damage was done, after the public outcry, and after it was clear the situation had been mismanaged. That's not accountability, that's damage control. Christine Brennan didn't hold back, declaring that the WNBA continues to fail at the most critical moments in protecting Clark. She called out the absurdity of Mabrey being allowed to remain in the game while Sophie Cunningham was ejected. Later, for a separate hard foul, fans were quick to highlight the glaring double standard.
The WNBA needs to clean up. I believe the physicality and all this hacking and fouling that goes on. She getting blindsided by Marina Mabrey. I think all of this stuff is having a wear and tear and an impact. And all you guys are doing are hurting yourselves, because the numbers are going to drop and drop and drop.
Coach Stephanie White hasn't minced words. She openly criticized the officiating, citing a -31 free throw discrepancy in recent games. She called the level of disrespect toward her team unbelievable, emphasizing that they aren't just launching 3, they're aggressively attacking the basket. Clark, in particular, is taking hard contact on nearly every drive, while referees swallow their whistles. White put it bluntly, when officials lose control of the game and allow repeated physicality without consequences, this is what happens. And where has WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert been through all of this? Upson, when asked whether Clark is being targeted, Engelbert gave a dismissive response, framing the physicality as part of healthy rivalries that make people watch. But this isn't rivalry, it's a failure of leadership.
Folks, this is the same person that said the left quad injury that she suffered most recently was a different left quad injury than the one from the preseason. They are treating us like fools. I'm supposed to sit here and eat up this nonsense? You guys rushed her back. And within rushing her back, she re-injured that same quad. And then you rushed her back again. And then within rushing her back, she was forced to put pressure and put stress on different areas surrounding that quad. That leads us to our most recent groin injury.
The fan backlash is unlike anything the WNBA has seen. Social media is flooded with demands for referee accountability and calls for Clark's protection. Some fans are even threatening to boycott the league until real changes are made. The irony is striking. The league that fought so hard to gain fans is now at risk of losing them because it failed to protect the very player who brought them in. The economic implications are staggering. In 2024, Clark was responsible for 26.5% of the WNBA's total economic activity. Projections for 2025 suggest she could generate up to $1 billion in revenue. Her games consistently drew over 2 million viewers, with the season opener against Chicago reaching the 0.7 million numbers not seen in 25 years. Now, with Clark sidelined again, the league faces yet another ratings collapse at the worst possible time.
Gateway Pundit, did the WNBA finally kill its golden goose after a year and a half of public beatings in a league full of the women who despise her? Caitlin Clark may be finished. Why did Steph play CC in last minute of game? We already know the beats, the fouls, the hard fouls, the flagrant fouls. We know it's taking a toll on her. It's counting up. And, I think it's catching up at this point, honestly. It ain't that serious. I'd rather just kick the can on the season if she's really that injured. Juju and Caitlin next year sounds a lot better than Caitlin still battling injuries. Rest Kate.
The timing of this crisis couldn't be worse. The WNBA was riding a wave of unprecedented momentum. Fueled by Clark's presence, website traffic surged by 501%. Hotel bookings increased in direct correlation with Fever games, a $75 million practice facility was already under construction. All of that economic growth is now at risk because the league failed to do the most basic thing required of any professional sports organization: protect its stars. What makes this situation even more frustrating is how entirely preventable it was. All the WNBA had to do was direct referees to call fouls when Clark was grabbed, pushed, or blatantly targeted. All they had to do was extend the same respect and protection afforded to other marquee players. Instead, they allowed a culture to take hold once Clark became acceptable, where dirty plays went unpunished, and where a billion-dollar asset was systematically broken down.